What's up, guys? It's Caliber here.
And the Beast.
And I'm Tara.
What are we coming to talk about today, Beast?
It's actually a question we're going to ask. We're all kind of under the conundrum of how does a rocket that gets shot into space function? Because to us, the thrusters on a rocket, the combustion, wouldn't be able to take place in a zero oxygen environment. Now, I've heard claims of there is an additive they put into the fuel that is like in a separate ass tank or something. But here's the thing: is if they're going to have to use that, they would have, especially, it would have to be something that's like ignitable in oxygen. So it'd have to be oxygen itself, right? Or at least oxygen based for it to be able to go. So the question I'm wondering is, where are the big, if they have that much oxygen that they need to create a flame or combustion to happen, where are these tanks at? They wouldn't even have enough. That means because they would have to have oxygen for them and the rocket. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't, because we look at space and we look at the properties that it's pretty much zero atmosphere.
It's a vacuum.
Yeah. And if we look at, like, test speakers in a vacuum chamber, there's no air, so nothing can happen. The same concept should be applied to fire. There's no flames or no oxygen, flames shouldn't be happening. It's not a popular theory, but me and Beast, well, Beast actually got me sold on this. We're thinking a lot of this shit is staged.
Oh yeah, I do believe that. I mean, am I going to deny that science is wrong and there is no space? I'm not saying that. I don't know what's out there. I mean, I don't claim to be the foremost astrologer, I guess would be the best word for it. So, what I'm getting at is, if there is space that's possible, I don't know. The point is, I don't think we've made it there. I don't think we've been out of the upper atmosphere, lower atmosphere area. I believe that's where we're kind of are, and that was also, you can actually Google this. That's what they even said on at NASA if you want to like type in like the highest points. Even though that we supposedly went to the moon, but NASA is now claiming that they can't get to the moon because of some kind of radiation or something right now. So it's like, that's kind of weird, isn't it? That
Isn't it
radiation.
the ozone layer?
No, it's the Van Allen belts.
I'm not
He's,
familiar with that.
It's it's something that I'm just now hearing of, even though they've knew about it for years. It's just something they never really talked about. They're basically these belts of radiation waves that is in between us and like so far out from like where it gets out of like our basic gravitational pull, and yeah, it's highly radioactive, deadly even. And they're saying that they don't have the ability to go past that point without serious harm. Well, they had no problem supposedly sending a person up to pass those belts, not once but twice, there and back, going through this radiation field in nothing more than a freaking sealed tin can, supposedly.
And you're talking about what year was it? 1950s, 1960s, somewhere's around there?
69, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm just talking about that. And it's like, have we really been to the moon? Like, honestly.
I I don't believe so. And the thing is, a lot of people. I mean, it's a big conspiracy going. About the whole stage factor and why would they gain from it and all that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, it was because they freaking promised so much at the beginning of the that decade. They raised taxes because of it for the space program. They didn't have any freaking like stuff for it. So what are you gonna do? You can't get proven wrong. You stage it good enough, nobody's going to prove you wrong. You're the government at the point in time. And this is the 1960s. We're not talking about today when our government does something, everybody's like, oh, no, the government did something. Back then, it was like, oh, okay, well, let's listen to see what they got going on.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the footage from that, the flag is moving. There's no air on the moon, so why is the flag moving?
Good point.
That was Taro's thing.
The flag moving, and then you got pictures of people in the space station even today, where their hair is floating up in the air. It's like, why is the hair floating? I get weightlessness, but it wouldn't make your hair float or go up. That would be like anti-gravity, I guess. I mean, that would be like the reversal of gravity on the hair. Like, your hair doesn't naturally flow up. Gravity's not holding your hair down. Your hair is there. Your hair doesn't naturally just go all freaking like wavy and stuff like that. Yeah, it doesn't naturally just do that. So for them to be like, every time you see one of them, their hair is sticking straight up in the air, and you're like, really? Doesn't make any sense. And you know,
this is a big conspiracy theory, but or this video is going to be a big conspiracy theory video. I believe, and I think Beast believes as well, that most of it's when they're doing like their little jumps and their little leaps and all that, that's all done in a pool.
Yeah, there's videos you can watch too about showing the training pool, because that's where they train at. They train in pools. You can watch the training videos. I mean, all you have to do is have a good editing program, which is, I mean, we've seen the freaking editing that we have today, let alone the government, what they would have probably had that back in the day anyway. Edit out the bubbles, edit it out, make it, take the darkness of where they take the lights out of the pool, take that all out, and just add in a background. Not really that hard to do.
No, it's not.
I mean, look at the movies we produce today. The movies look more realistic than what they do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Look at Gravity. Look at that movie with Sandra Bullock. She just had that one. That right there was more convincing to me. That movie was more convincing to me about freaking like what outer space would be like and how it would look, more so than what actually gets showed on TV.
Yeah, and I mean, people can come in and flood the comments if you want, saying that, oh, the NASA has a live stream. You can still use a green screen on the live stream.
Not even that. You can literally take a live stream, have a hole in the wall, right, and have that patched up and look like there's nothing there the whole time. You just have to put different patches in there. Here's another thing. If you ever look at their live stream, here's something I wanted to get a gander at too. You ever see a picture of the Earth? Why is the Earth glowing? Why does the light look like it's illuminating from the Earth and not from a far up distance? Why don't you see the rays of the sun from where you're at when they're in space? You don't look off and there's the freaking sun. You should see like a lights coming from that area, you would figure. But no, the Earth is literally glowing. That doesn't make any sense.
And a lot of people could say that's because of the Earth's atmosphere. But I mean, I can't say it's definitive or not. I don't
either. I'm just saying it doesn't make any, like, when I, like, personal observant, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like, if there's probably something behind it. I'm not saying there isn't, but there's something that I don't know.
Because, the thing is, and you got to look at it from our standpoint, we only see one side of the Earth. And that's the side where all the satellites are. I say satellites in quotation because I'm not even sure how they got those up there.
Balloons.
I mean, I think it's possible to get satellites up there, but I don't think it's possible to get ourselves up there.
I think we can go up as high as a satellite. I mean, a satellite's a satellite, but to say that we went across, let's put it this way. I can barely get cell phone reception in a goddamn Walmart, right? But they're telling me they can get freaking goddamn reception, freaking so many thousands and thousands of miles away, through an atmosphere, through the clouds, into Houston. Really. And when it's freaking raining out, I can't get a goddamn freaking like YouTube video to load up. You're telling me that you can freaking like broadcast video streams?
Yeah, thousands of miles away.
Yeah, makes tons of sense.
It would be believable if the fact, and I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get labeled. I don't really care, except the fact that the fucking stream is in the same building. There, I said it. The stream's in the same building.
Wasn't there a thing with JFK and the thingy majigger?
Well, it's not so much JFK. I think you're thinking of like with George Bush Sr. He went to go visit the.
I don't know presidents. I don't live in the States.
He went to go visit the space control in Houston. No, Florida. I'm sorry. He went to Florida. That's where he went. And on the same channel, which was a live stream, by the way, on a different channel, same day, same time period, they were broadcasting from the International Space Station. And you see the guy in the background when they're because everybody's too busy taking pictures of, Bush Sr. He's, former President Bush Sr. is up in the, and they're visiting the space control. And you see on the back monitor the same guy that's on the other station behind a green screen. Now on his side, you see him playing with this ball of water, like showing like this cool little orb of water that he's able to manipulate and all that jazz. But in the behind the green screen, he's playing with a tennis ball. Playing with it.
I have to look that up because it sounds funny.
Oh, it's pretty wild. It's like, I thought you were how'd you get back so fast? You were just like 5 minutes ago. You were on the space station. You're right there. Looks like on Earth.
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Conspiracy theories, man. I can get wild. I mean, if it was a conspiracy, it would be wild.
Well, the thing is, what would be the point of doing it? I at this point, like I said, I think it was originally a lie just to save their own asses in the beginning. It was the Cold War. We were promised to go to the moon and, be the first ones there.
Yeah, because weren't we supposed to be like the Russians or something?
Yep, supposed to be the Soviets. And what happened was they raised taxes and everything else to fund these big space programs. So for a whole decade, they had the taxes raised. You're paying for this extra stuff. People are getting mad because there's nothing that's coming from it. You're getting to 1969, around that area. You're getting really close to the brim here, and then that year, the last year that you promised that you would be in this decade, that you would be in space, you just so happened to be in space in 1969. It seems a little bit close to the wire, don't you think? A little bit too close for coincidence. Let's just put it that way.
Considering it would probably take days, maybe even months to get to the moon. Because we have to look at the moon. There is a moon. I will say this. There is a moon.
Oh, there's a moon. There's a moon.
But the moon looks closer than what it actually is. It's probably,
I mean, they broadcasted it like it took days for them to get there and all that jazz. I'm not saying anything about that. I mean, they did stage it well, at least enough for at least half, for the whole population, if not all the population at the time, to believe that it was so. The questions popped up afterwards. What I'm getting at is when the first speech came out, the JFK, his whole race to space speech was in the beginning, I think 1961 or 1962. He came up and he was talking about, yeah, we're going into space. We're already we're sending up. They just had one fail that was going to the moon. It failed, and he said in that speech, he said that they had a satellite headed to Venus, and it was like, but you couldn't get to the moon, but you're going to send you have one en route to Venus, which makes no damn sense. They're still getting telecommunications through this somehow. I don't know how that really works out, considering the fact that, again, back then they didn't have the technology to have today, and I still can't get cell phone reception in a metal building. That's all I'm getting. I mean, that just boggles my mind how they can freaking get cell phone service and all that jazz.
Well, I don't know about cell phone service, but radio reception, yes. I
Well,
don't
here's the
see.
thing. The whatever dude is up in space right now FaceTimes his family.
Yep.
So
Oh.
like he has internet up there.
Well, here's
Well,
another
see,
thing
I didn't
too.
know that.
Here's another thing too that'll boggle your mind. One of the satellites they sent up in 1972. Around that era, I can't remember the name of the satellite. You have to look that up. But it actually goes over Antarctica, and that's how Antarctica gets cell phone service from a satellite that hasn't been touched since 1972. If that makes sense to you, then I wish you would tell me how that works.
What do you got?
But anyway, I think they should leave their thoughts in the comments down below.
Yeah,
I
most
believe so.
definitely. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to him. He is S13_the Beast, and she is Terror Storm. Anyways, guys, this is Storm Family, signing out.